Meter in poetry. So what is meter? Meter is what makes poetry musical. It's what makes it sound pleasing. So when you think of meter, think of it as a series of beats. Okay, so let's talk about those beats and how to figure them out. A foot is the basic building block of poetry. It is a grouping of syllables, and that grouping is repeated in a line of poetry. So different types of feet include the iamb, the trochee, anapest, and dactyl, just to name a few. An iamb is a foot of 2 syllables, where the first syllable is unstressed and the second syllable is stressed. A word that is iambic is the word before. You can see that the first syllable is not stressed. The second one is stressed. It's louder. Before. Another example is inspire. A trochee is sort of the opposite of an iamb. It's again 2 syllables, but this time the first one is stressed and the second one is unstressed. First names in the English language are quite often trochees, including William, Susan, and many other names. Other nouns are also trochees, such as hammer. So iambs and trochees are 2 syllables. An anapestic foot has 3 syllables. The first 2 syllables are unstressed, and the third one is stressed. An example of a word that is an anapest is intervene. You can see how the last syllable of that word is stressed, intervene. A dactyl, again, has 3 syllables. The first one is accented, and the last 2 are unstressed. So words that are dactylic include carefully and scorpion. Okay, once you have a foot, it can be combined with other feet to form poetic lines. So if you have 3 feet per line, you have trimeter. 4 feet per line is tetrameter. 5 feet per line is pentameter. 6 feet per line is hexameter. And again, these are just examples. There are more. So meter is a combination of the type of foot and the number of feet per line. So an example of meter would be iambic pentameter, when you have 5 iambs per line, making a total of 10 syllables. Another example would be anapestic trimeter, or 3 anapests per line, making up 9 syllables. So to figure out meter in poetry, first of all, count the number of syllables in each line, okay, and then divide them with slashes. That'll help you figure this out. Okay, how many syllables per line? And here's an example from William Shakespeare's Sonnet 18. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. So, to start counting, how many syllables do you have per line? Okay, if you count them, you'll see that you have 10 per line. So it's an even number. Okay, so I'm going to group them by 2. Okay, 2 syllables, and then I'm going to put a slash like this. I've divided it into feet. Now I just have to figure out what kind of feet I have. All right, so and then I determine where those stressed syllables are. And once I figure that out, I'm going to put them in bold font. And it looks like this. Okay, shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Okay, that's what it sounds like when you read it. Right, so those stressed syllables are in bold font. And that allows me to see that I have an unstressed, stressed, unstressed, stressed. Okay, so when I have an unstressed and stressed, that means it's an iamb. And I've got 5 iambic feet per line, which makes this iambic pentameter. Okay, let's look at another type. Here's a line from Edgar Allan Poe's The Raven. Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered weak and weary. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is count up the number of syllables per line. And I have 16. It's an even number, so I'm going to, again, since it's an even number, divide it into feet of 2 syllables and put slashes between them. And then I can mark where the stressed and unstressed syllables are. And this time I have stressed, unstressed, stressed, unstressed. And I have 8 feet per line, making this 8 trochaic feet, or trochaic octameter. Okay, that's how you identify meter. I hope you found this helpful.